He'll make you laugh without ever saying a word. Las Vegas Strip headliner Tate Face is our guest this week on Nevada Week in Person.
Support for Nevada Week in Person is provided by Senator William H. Hernstadt.
Welcome to Nevada Week in Person. I'm Amber Renee Dixon, joining you from the MGM Grand's Underground Theater, where silent prop comic and America's Got Talent finalist Tate Face is debuting a new show. Tate Face, thank you for joining Nevada Week in Person.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
I introduced you as Tate Face, but your real name is Sam Wills.
Yes.
So first off, who is Tate Face to Sam Wills?
It's a weird little character that sort of popped up into my head around 2005. I kind of picture Tate Face being around a 9-year-old version of me of sorts, a very sort of Tim Burton influenced odd creature character that kind of lives inside my head.
Oh, that's sweet. How were you as a 9-year-old?
Pretty much like this. I've refused to grow up.
Okay, and how different are Sam Wills and Tate Face?
I think pretty different. Sam's got to pay taxes and do normal everyday life things.
Yeah.
Whereas Tate Face gets to live in this lovely little fantasy bubble where everything's playful and fun. So,
And
yeah.
Sam doesn't wear tape on his face.
No, I'm tape free. So,
Why
yeah.
the tape?
The tape came about because I used to do another show where I talked too much, and I developed this sort of circus sideshow freak show act where I did a lot of kind of barking, talking, yelling at audience members. And then I won a comedy award in 2005 in New Zealand called the Billy T. James Award, which was at the time the biggest comedy award you could win in New Zealand. So once I
Your
won...
native country.
My native country of New Zealand, yep. So once I won that, people expected me to keep doing shows where I talked more and did these weird shows. So I decided to challenge myself and do a silent comedy character. So the first version of Tate Face didn't have tape. It was just a silent clown that I worked out. And I lasted about 15 seconds before I ruined it by talking to the front row because I had no idea what I was doing. So I came back the next night to the comedy club, and a friend of mine backstage said to me, the only way you could do a silent character would be if you gaffer tape your mouth shut. And it was just a joke that he made backstage to me, and I thought, that's a good idea, I'll try it out. And so I got a piece of tape, put it over my mouth, and it stopped me talking.
I think it's interesting you say silent clown is what you were
Yes.
doing instead of mime.
Yeah, we don't use the M word.
Why?
Because everyone pictures mime, mime's this business. Everyone hates a mime. Put a mime in a box and punch them. Terrible people. Horrible, horrible humans.
For those who have not seen you on America's Got Talent or YouTube, how would you describe what it is that you do?
We call it stand-up comedy without talking. So, because I still use the same formulas and formats of stand-up comedy, the setups and punchlines and callbacks and running gags and that sort of thing, but I just apply it to music from the early 2000s and 80s and 90s kind of thing, and then everyday objects. So picking up objects from Walmart, from dollar stores, and then playing with them in different ways.
You told me off camera that leading up to Tate Face, you were part of some circus acts that were getting kind of dangerous.
Yes.
What was going on?
My old show, which I don't do anymore, I was doing freak show stuff, circus sideshow things. So I used to be able to dislocate my shoulders and push my body through tennis rackets, hammering 4-inch nails up my nose. I used to do that sort of thing. I did one routine where I'd get a young lady from the audience to come out of the crowd, and she would hold a power drill, and I could lower my face onto it, putting a power drill 4 inches into my head, and that sort of thing. So it was quite nice to step away from some of that stuff and come into the lovely, nicer world of Tate Face.
I imagine. I mean, as we're talking, it is your 45th birthday.
I know, happy birthday to me.
Happy
Woo!
birthday to you. Would you have made it had you continued on that
No
route? you
way,
think?
I'd be out of here at 35. I'd be featured in today's obituaries.
Back to the creation of Tate Face. He has his roots in clowning, which you began
Yes.
practicing, I think, as a teenager in New
Yeah,
Zealand.
really young, around year 13. I knocked on a clown's door. We had one professional clown in our small town of Timaru, New Zealand, and I found out he lived there, so I knocked on his door and said, can I be in your show? And so I auditioned myself on his doorstep, and he put me in a show, which was really cool.
What was it about clowning that drew you in?
I was just silly. I just thought it was ridiculous. And also, I was doing magic tricks at the time. I was one of those kids who tormented my parents by making them watch the same magic trick over and over and over again. So my parents were quite happy to see the back of me to go off with this clown guy to do shows.
What do your parents think of what you're doing now?
Oh, they love it. They're over the moon. They're much happier doing this rather than putting nails in my face.
I imagine. The aspect of not having to talk in your performance, you say that appealed to you.
Yes.
Why?
It's quite fun. It's just a different challenge because there's so many stand-up comedians, there's so many sketch comedy and improv and all sorts of communication comedy is there. So it's really fun to go take away the number one, or what seems to be the primary roots of comedy, which is speaking, and then go into silent comedy, which is, it's just more visual, more interactive, and just making people play the game. Like, I know what I'm doing, I know what's coming up, I know what's happening. So when I pull audience members up on stage to help me out with something, they're confused and befuddled by the whole thing. So it's quite nice to give them a challenge to work out the game.
And that's something important for people to know if they are coming. They may end up on stage.
Absolutely, but the difference is we are very safe and responsible with our audience members. So a lot of times, I've been a volunteer in somebody's show before. It was horrible. I hated it because the guy was awful. But for me, the thing about it is that when we get audience members up on stage, we respect them. We want them to leave the stage a hero. So they win, they will save the day and that sort of thing. So they get a huge round of applause. Everybody wins at the end of the day.
Well, what happened in that experience?
I had to tie a guy up in a straitjacket and he just belittled me for a good solid 10 minutes. So I was like, no, this is stupid. This guy's terrible.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
That's Siri freaking out on me now.
So for the lack of talking that you do, Siri
Siri
makes
takes
up
over,
for you.
absolutely.
It's funny, one of our videographers said, I don't think I've ever heard him talk. This will perhaps be the first day ever.
Yeah, I hide out.
And people, I'm sure you've heard that a lot. You've also heard, how do you eat a lot, right?
Yeah, how do I eat? Yeah, how do you eat? And that sort of thing. Yeah, that's a weird question. That's the number one question. Or the number one question I get asked most of the time is, does it hurt when the tape comes off? And it's like, if it hurt, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago.
Also in that, but also I think in that interview that I listened to, you said you develop a square around
If I'm
your
doing
mouth
lots
sometimes.
of shows, I shave every day. If I'm doing, like, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is one of the biggest arts festivals in the world. When I'm performing over there, I could be doing up to 5 shows a day. So I'm putting tape on, taking off, ripping it off. So I end up with this red square of skin around my face there. So the secret to rebuilding the skin overnight is Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream. So you just massage. That's brilliant stuff.
Free promo
Yeah, if
right
they want to
here.
sponsor me, hit me up.
Well, and you do your own makeup as well.
Yes.
We were talking, you also do your own decorations here.
Yeah,
You're
we're
so
decorating some stuff.
hands-on. Is that to a fault or is it
Absolutely.
necessary?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely to a fault. I love being hands-on with the whole show and everything about it. So I want it to look a certain way and have a certain vibe. So when the audience come into a space, I want them to have a nostalgic feeling to it. We've brought in 6 arcade machines, so that way people can play video games while they're waiting, because I genuinely love playing video games, and it sort of lightens the mood a wee bit as well. So yeah, we'll decorate in here. We'll put a lot of gaffer tape up on the walls.
Nostalgic to what kind of era?
To my era, the 80s, 90s,
Okay.
early 2000s. I struggle writing jokes using modern music. It's some music today I find is pretty disposable, whereas you hear music from the 80s and 90s and 2000s, it's really, you get those iconic tracks where you just go, oh, that's a really good bit of music. And they're the ones that I'm drawn to making things funny about.
What do you require out of the music you use?
We know when you hear the little hairs on your back of your head stand up when you hear a good song, that's all it is.
And then with that music
Yeah.
comes
Comes something. Yeah, I'll find a prop that'll match into it, or a puppet that'll sing a song, and yeah, we'll just play.
That's the benefit of doing a residency, is you don't have to travel with all your props, right?
Absolutely, we have a lot of props, suitcases and rubbish. Yeah, I think
Because what is that experience like?
it's a pain in the butt going through TSA with all of my stuff. I get stopped all the time.
With what? With horses on
occasionally,
sticks? and-
yeah, that's the weirdest one. When a customs officer once said to me, "What do you got in your suitcase?" I couldn't be bothered, so I just went, "I've got a toilet seat and I've got 2 horses' heads." And they were like, "Go off you go away." And so they just let me walk through, which was great.
When you were on America's Got Talent, the reaction to you initially was one of confusion. I think people were kind of scratching their heads like, where is he going with this? What does it feel like in that moment when you're seeing those faces?
It's pretty terrifying, I'm not going to lie. When I walked out, like you see, if you watch the clip back of the judges, like their faces especially, they hated me initially for those first few seconds, because it's just like every time, they've got so many random acts that come on America's Got Talent, they buzz off straight away. And so I was terrified that I was going to be one of those, that they'd just go, "What is this guy?" Off he goes. So luckily they gave me that wee bit of time to go, "Here's what I'm doing, trust me."
What do you think it is that makes people initially kind of upset with what you're doing?
It's a bit off-putting when you see someone who looks a bit like a hostage. who then
good
proceeds
point.
to do a very sweet, cute, endless love Diana Ross Lionel Richie song. It's a pretty weird juxtaposition.
It's almost like, how dare you?
And also that's that thing of, as of the character Tape Face, I'm completely comfortable with the tape on my face. It's not a problem for me. Whereas some people find it, oh, we must want to take that tape off. It's like, no, I'm fine. Quite happy with it.
People physically feel
Yeah,
discomfort as a result of
Yeah,
that.
it's fine.
Well, so then you do have the judges react that way, but then you have Simon Cowell say, I believe a star is being born out of just pure, utter silliness.
Yes, that's hilarious.
What does that mean to you?
It's cool. It's great. I'm glad that other people see the silliness. I think we need more silly. Yeah, 100%.
As opposed to,
Everything else you have to report.
oh, right. Well, but within comedy too, does comedy need
Oh
more
no,
silly?
comedy's definitely got all the silly in the world, but we could always do with more comedy. I think there's one of those things where it's like the world's full of tragedy and horrible and burning everything. So it's nice to throw in some good fun things.
And is that what you feel part of your purpose is?
Yeah, absolutely. My job is to be a clown. Yeah, and my job is to serve the public to be ridiculous for their entertainment.
When you are going through your act and you're getting those looks in the
Mm-hmm.
crowd of what is going on, I imagine you must have a tremendous amount of self-confidence to be able to wait it out until the joke lands. Am I wrong?
No, there's certainly confidence that has to be had waiting for the joke to pay off. It's worse if the joke pays off and nothing really happens. That's really funny. I find that entertaining for me, not so much the audience. But no, 9 times out of 10 we landed a joke pretty solidly, and it is that awkward, uncomfortable minute or 2 minutes where people are scratching their heads, wondering what's happening, and then it's all revealed and everyone laughs. Hooray!
Where does the confidence come from?
No idea.
What about, you talked about street performing
Oh, I
ahead of
suppose so.
this
Yeah,
interview.
street performing is a bit like that. When I first started out, obviously I didn't have a stage to work on, so I just go perform in the streets in my hometown in Christchurch. I actually moved to London to work in Covent Garden and to develop being a street performer. And so being a street performer, I've always considered it like the bungee jumping of comedy. Like you go out there, there's no audience, you have to build your crowd and entertain them and try and get money out of them. And at the same time, if they don't like you, they will walk away. So you develop your act pretty quickly.
And from street performing to Las Vegas, when you first got a show here, what did you think?
It's pretty amazing. I remember when I was about 13 or 14, I learned how to juggle. And I remember being a juggler. I dropped out of school to juggle more, actually. And I had very understanding parents.
I'll say.
Yeah, so and I remember saying to my parents I wanted to be a juggler in Las Vegas. That was when I was about 13 or 14. And we all talked about that now. It's this funny thing of now I actually have a show in Vegas where I'm doing my thing. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Pretty happy.
This new show,
Yeah.
what's it like?
Well, it's still the same show. It's still the Las Vegas show. We've just changed out to a new, wonderful, and brand new location here at MGM. We love the show. The show's a wild roller coaster of fun, and it's a real chance for people to, as I said, it's that switching off the outside world for a couple of hours. Come in and enjoy a safe little bubble and just laugh, grab a drink, and kick back.
What do you think of this setting in particular?
Fantastic. I'm really excited about this. It's nice to have our own little home. Yeah, little house of tape.
And this seats about
250 will be in here. Yeah.
Is that about the
Yeah,
right
it's a great
amount
number for a show. Yep,
for your
perfect.
show, for
Yeah,
your type
happy.
of show?
Yeah, and here it's great because everyone can see everything perfectly. I feel like I'm a wee bit on top of the audience without being completely on top of them. So there's that sort of audience tension play there, which is nice.
Also neat, it's family friendly.
Yes, yeah, we're accessible to absolutely everyone. We've had kids from 9 years old to up to 90.
At what point did that become important to you, to be accessible to all ages?
I suppose as I got a wee bit older, I started realizing the limitations of performance for families out there. So, and whenever I'm writing material, I write material with that in mind of going, I want this to be accessible for everyone. So I've written some content, which is, adult late night only jokes and that sort of thing, but I just keep those for later on. And then the more family friendly stuff comes into play.
And do you bounce off the family friendly stuff off your child?
No, my nephew was the guy who I wrote most of the show with, my nephew Oscar back in New Zealand. I picked his brain for a wee while, hanging out with him, going, he was 9 years old at the time, going, what do you like? What games are you playing? What's happening? Talk to me about Star Wars and that sort of thing.
Oh, man.
So yeah, he's about 18 now, so he's useless to me.
Oh. Well, but let's hope he still comes and sees
Yeah, he
your
will.
show.
Yeah.
Sam Wills, aka Tape Face,
Yes.
thank you for joining
No worries.
Nevada Week in
Thank you.
person.
All good.
Tickets to his show on sale now here at the MGM Grand's Underground Theater. And for more interviews like this, go to vegaspbs.org/Nevada Week.